Courtney has inherited a creepy mansion from her reclusive uncle, Dr. Zorba. But along with the mansion comes the ghosts that live inside it. This is the Wrong Turn Podcast. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Edgar.
How's it going?
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. This is going to be our first podcast of the new year. We're going to put up a quick side note. This is going to be a tribute to the first episode that we made because we lost that one due to some
Audio
technical difficulties. So this is tribute to that episode. This is going to be a recap of, like the Tenacious D song, the greatest song in the world.
Yeah.
This is a tribute.
This is a tribute
It is a
to the
tribute.
greatest song in the world.
100%. Okay. Today we're going to be doing 13 Ghosts from 1960. We've been talking about this one for a long time, so we're excited to do it. This is Courtney's jam and butter.
Jam and butter.
And
I just had never seen the 1960 version. I was blissfully unaware that it existed.
I think a lot of people don't know that 13 Ghosts was a remake. You know how like everybody nowadays would be like, oh, this is a remake of a remake, or when any new horror movies come out.
It always comes out like, oh yeah, did you see the original? It was made in 1982, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it doesn't feel like it's that long ago.
Yeah,
But this is
yeah.
from 1960, so I guess fair. Maybe people quite didn't realize it.
I mean,
It was a remake.
Maybe-
The Matthew Lillard, Shannon Elizabeth one in like 2001.
and my boy Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub.
And I think it just, it just, I don't know, maybe like the previous generation knew, but I don't remember anybody telling me back then that it was a remake.
No,
Yeah.
like I kind of knew the more maybe popular ones, like House on Haunted Hill, that had the old school versions like this one. I guess I'm trying to make.
I
but-
think that, no, oh, Haunted Hill, yeah, because I'm thinking of The Haunting, which is also a remake.
which is yes.
But no, also I don't think anybody told me back then either that it was a remake. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, maybe we were just out of the loop.
Yeah.
But before we tap into this movie, we're going to be talking about some horror news in the upcoming new year. And we got a couple things coming down the pipeline. There's a lot of horror news out there, but we're just going to hit on some couple other things that got me really excited. So, remember Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a TV show, and I'm actually really, really excited. I'm really surprised that they never did a sequel or a spin-off or any other things, because that movie's held up so well.
Yeah. But that is like the exciting part of this one, I think, because there isn't anything else. So this is like, yes, they're finally doing it.
Finally. Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting for
That
the brothers that
the
directed
squeaking
it.
you might hear is
Oh,
Mishi.
man. So they never did anything with it. I believe it is let me see, I'll look it up right now. So that should be exciting. And I had asked you before in the original version of this recording, what would you want? Do you want campy or do you want scary?
I said scary.
I
I'd
was-
actually really like to see scary.
I
I know I'm the camp. I love camp, but I would like to see some scary fucking clowns.
Oh, it's already. Oh, yeah. I thought it was already slated for. Oh no, there is the Return to Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I guess there is a sequel,
Well,
but it's like
here we go again.
3D.
We're out of the loop. We did not see that one then. I surely didn't.
Yeah,
What's it on? The second one, The Return. What's it called?
yeah, the Return. Chiodos, the brothers. They were actually the brothers that were in the ice cream truck. Those were the directors
Oh.
and the special effects guys.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So they were actually in the movie.
I like when they do that.
No, the movie was great. So I think those are the brothers that end up with the female clown. Yeah, the Return of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Well, then we were wrong. It's a good thing we took a second to look.
I think there was like a.
But still, there's not a lot, I guess, like, considering.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, I guess yeah, we were exactly we were wrong. And speaking of TV shows, and segueing into our topic for today, we were also really surprised that 13 Ghosts, since it's basically like an public domain property, hasn't been remade or had anything done with since the 2000 version.
I think it's 2000, 2001.
2001 version. And turns out, news came down the pipeline this year or at the end of 2023 that they were going to be doing a 13 Ghosts show for streaming, which I'm like, all right, I could totally see it. 13 Ghosts, 13 episodes, what have you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get what I've always wanted out of this miniseries or whatever it is.
It's gonna be like what the background stories.
Yeah, I really want the in depth of all the ghosts.
And that's just like you're playing with it essentially. That's what I would do when I was a little kid. Everything had a background story. Everything had rich history, and you can totally see that with this.
Like flashbacks or storylines of how these ghosts die to become these and trap whatever. I think we're gonna get it. At least I hope. I
mean, with killer clowns, like I could see it being really, really creepy and really scary, because like clowns in dark spaces or whatever, Uncanny Valley, yada yada yada. But like, I don't know if this one's gonna be as scary, because 2001 version didn't scare me.
It didn't.
It was campy, and it was campy.
Yeah.
For 2001.
Yeah.
So I don't see this, but if they could,
I guess you're right. It didn't scare me, except for the only one that did kind of freak me out was the one that's in the straitjacket in the cage in the remake.
Yeah,
in the cage. Screaming. That was the only one that because he's just so unhinged.
Yeah.
And then the really maybe I don't know. Yeah.
And I actually just got a couple new things since last week when we originally had done this episode. Like you had said, Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie has gone into public domain. So I guess Disney can't own Steamboat Willie.
Exactly. It means yes,
or at least that original version.
That version of Mickey.
Yeah.
So when you see all of this, it's a Steamboat Willie version of Mickey that they don't own anymore.
So prior to this, Winnie the Pooh had gone into public domain. Last year, the year before that, and then some guys had made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which is already slated to have a sequel to come out this year.
And now they've done a horror movie with Steamboat.
Somebody
Willie
else
Mickey.
has, So the day it dropped, excuse me. So the day it dropped, this movie was already made and just getting.
They were just ready.
But also, there's also been so much weird Steamboat Willie fan art that has gone out. Like there's been a lot of penises and a lot of steamboats and a lot of willies out there.
I like it. That's a good one. There's also been a lot of really fucked up, not okay things that they're putting Mickey on. I don't even want to talk about it, but yeah.
and one of them was a horror movie Steamboat Willie that was just waiting to come out. I think I actually didn't know if we could watch it on YouTube.
There's a trailer for it.
There's a trailer for it, at least. Also, there was a Steamboat Willie horror game that also came out the same day, which I'm like, damn, like these guys were waiting for this to go.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about it. I'm happy about. I don't know about all the penises.
It's one less thing Disney attached to Disney. I'm sorry.
How long do you gotta wait? 70 years? 30 years?
Is it
40?
that?
I forgot. 40 years? 1942? I actually don't remember. I'm just gonna make them. We're
making it up.
We're loosing the facts here today. We'll do better next time.
Always
for
fact
sure.
check.
Also, one last thing in the news. So far, there have been 30 horror movies slated to come out this year.
That's
FYI.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So among them will be Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, another Frankenstein remake, and Wolfman, along with Salem's Lot. That's if things don't get pushed back because of
the strikes.
Any strikes that kind of happened. Which that's 30 off the top of people's heads. That's just 30 that are.
I can't wait for Beetlejuice. I'm so excited for that.
Beetlejuice is late summer.
Okay,
so we'll see about that. And yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Also, The Crow is also supposed to come out this year eventually.
Also pretty excited.
But not with your boy Momoa.
I know he's not in that.
They could have done a version with him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you want Momoa to like gracefully transition to TV, and like Well, if everybody doesn't know, if this is your first episode listening,
I'm a big Jason Momoa fan, but for
Courtney
many
is
reasons.
the president of the Jason Momoa fan club, West Coast.
West Coast, the president. But I want to just delineate. It's for reasons other than just he's a hot guy. I recognize he's very sexy, but I've loved him for a long time since Stargate.
He's super talented.
I
no, I'm just messing with.
Yes.
That's
Take
fine.
a second to watch C on Apple TV.
Oh, that was
like that is so fucking cool.
I don't know if it was because of him or because of the premise, but that opening, the cold open with the war scene, like I think I've mentioned on here, but I rewatched it a bunch of times because it's so fucking metal. I was just like, this is amazing.
It's so metal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a metal boy. He's a metal boy.
He comes out very genuine. He comes out very nice.
Does.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why everybody likes him. Let's see if there's anything else.
But I guess I will also watch. I mean, Stargate Atlantis. Whatever you want to say about it, I love it. Probably because it's just that's when I'd known about him before, but then I went back to that show and I was like, oh, I love this.
No, was it 90s? Late 90s?
No, or 2006.
2000? Oh, really? I was
going
gonna say like that time was rife with like not early, but like TV had a lot of sci-fi on it.
And Stargate kind of lost. Stargate was all over. There were so many different Stargates, and so this is the specific the Atlantis version.
Oh my god! But like, yeah, they had the Stargate ones. They had Star Trek had like 4
Star
shows.
Wars, no, I like Stargate.
Yeah, Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars.
Oh,
there were no Star Wars back then. No shows.
No shows. Correct.
But their Star Trek had 3 shows going on at the time. And Stargate, and you had your X-Files, and then we had a bunch of other, some weird, there was was it Sequest, which was, I thought you were talking about Sequest, not Stargate, when you were mentioning this. No, different sci-fi.
Different sci-fi.
Different sci-fi. Was it Marine show? Sorry.
Exactly. I like the sci-fi Marine show. But we were talking. You had asked me. You were like, because I'm not the biggest fan of Disney. Look, I respect it, but I'm not a person that's like, I need to go to Disney. You're really into it. But you were asking me. You were like, well, what are you gonna nerd out about? I think I might nerd out about a Stargate land.
Oh, actually, I'm surprised that they haven't done a ride. There should have been something.
So. Yeah. I'm like the level down. I'm like this little lame kind of dorky one where I'm like, ooh, Stargate.
I'm gonna be a gatekeeper and be like, oh, I'm only about Stargate, the original movie. Give me what's this guy's name? Kurt Russell and not David Spader. Yeah. Not a very good movie.
It's not a very good movie. That's why I'm like, but I like the Atlantis one.
It was a good enough movie that they made 3 shows?
I think there's more than that. There's a whole universe.
Fair. Fun fact: looking at this list of horror movies that are coming out this year, one is called Horoscope. That should be fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with Zodiac?
Yeah. Like it has
horoscope.
Horoscope. Yeah.
Of course, that's the joke. That's fun. I'll watch that.
Oh, apparently she's bored. She's walking out the room.
Ming won't let her in.
And with that, we wrap up the news, and we are going on into our movie. Like I said.
William Castle, whom the Saturday Evening Post calls the master of movie horror.
Do you believe in ghosts? I do. And you will too. When you come to this theater and see my picture, 13 Ghosts. No more dictation today. When you see 13 ghosts, you'll be given a supernatural viewer like this, which will enable you to penetrate for the first time into the spirit world. It will let you see all 13 of our weird, wonderful, and wildly assorted ghosts.
Now, brace yourself as we take you across the threshold of our haunted mansion, where there's a ghost for everyone in the family. Father, mother, sister, brother. You'll be scared stiff too when you see what they see. 13 ghosts, materializing in ectoplasmic color through the magic of Illusiono, the Ghost Viewer. Ah! The ghost of a lion in the basement. The ghost of a murderous cook in the kitchen.
Stop it!
ghost who speaks through the lips of the living.
Death tonight. To one of you. Ah!
The evil ghost in the bedroom, fighting to take possession of this beautiful girl. You'll feel all the thrills and chills of seeing one ghost multiplied by the magic number 13.
13 Ghosts, directed by William Castle, which we've talked on here before,
Yes,
and
he
Rob
did
White.
House on Haunted Hill. The
Mhm.
19. Is it also 1959 or 1960?
1959, so right before this.
Right before this. So next year, William Castle releases this one.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the intro where you get the
13
the
Ghosts.
13 ghosts. You see each one
And we were disappointed the first time because this one doesn't give you the backstory of
to any of them.
all the 13 ghosts. You only get a couple of them, which is kind of lame.
I said to anyone, you're right. I forgot already. I
Oh,
was like,
no.
oh no, I'm gone.
Oh, so all right, so the lion is one. The lion.
Oh,
the
so the lion is one of course, the lion's a ghost.
yeah. And then we get
You two get a couple of the ghosts' backstories.
and then a question mark for the. So yeah, you get a rundown of all 13 ghosts very quickly in the intro, and the 13th ghost is a question mark. Ooh.
I went because last time we worked out that I watched a different version than you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you want to go into about how William Castle had this whole like gimmick thing
So-
for this?
So in the version that I watched, William Castle does the intro where he invites the audience to, if they're scared or not to be scared, they could wear the glasses that have the red or the green visor on them so they can see the ghosts, or if they're too scared, they cannot see they choose to not see the ghosts. In the version I have, or the version I watched, the screen goes to blue or red when the ghosts come out. But on the YouTube one,
And the version I watch
Yeah,
is just black and white.
which the version that's on play right now, there is no blue or white. You still get to see the ghosts.
You see the ghost, but it's just black and white.
Yeah.
So we noticed last time when we did this, you were like, oh, and so there was a difference there, but that's all.
Yeah, so if you chose not to see the ghosts, you would look through the red visor and everything would be whited out. Like the ghost would be washed out.
Which
And
is cool. So I
super
guess
cool.
if you have if you can watch the version you got, that I guess that would be a cooler one to.
I mean, you would still see the ghost unless you had like a red visor, pair of Cyclops glasses.
But the intro to this movie, we meet our first character here, and it is Cyrus
Zorba.
Zorba,
Mm-hmm.
Pluto Zorba.
Pluto Zorba's nephew.
He's at work. He works for the Los Angeles County Museum.
Natural History Museum. And he's talking about the tar pits.
Sure. We learn that his wife calls him and is like, they're taking everything. They're taking their furniture. We have no money. They're all very, very calm about it.
Super fucking
Super
casual
calm about it. Cyrus is just like, oh, well, darling, don't you worry. Like,
Super casual about all their stuff is getting repossessed. Luckily, they weren't kicked out of their house just yet, but they're literally taking the sofa
that she's sitting on.
that she's
The
sitting
guy's
on.
like, get up.
And like what were they like? Was everything on layaway? Like how bad does your credit have to be that the creditor is just like, yeah, just take all their stuff?
I guess it would be
Real life horror.
real life horror, but
Get your
what's
shit
the
repossessed?
repossessed? What's the not layaway? There's a consignment. No,
No.
that's different too.
What are you talking about? When,
Not consignment, but when you don't have money,
Yeah.
you put something up like to the bank because you need money.
oh, collateral.
Collateral, that's
Yeah,
the word
yeah.
I was looking for. So maybe like the house and furniture and everything he put out is like, this is all collateral because I can't pay my bills.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, but it's
The house I could see for sure. Usually they would take the house
the
first.
house, but
They
the
would
fact
take
that they just were taking out every single piece of furniture.
it's a fun little shtick for sure.
So now we meet his children. So we have the names.
It
You
turns
go through these
yeah,
names.
yeah. It turns out that it's also his son's birthday on the day all their shit gets repossessed. But
and all he wants for
shucks.
his birthday is furniture.
Yeah, exactly. But all right. So then we have Buck Zorba, played by Herbert by Charles Herbert. And then we have Rosemary DeCamp playing Hilda Zorba, which is the daughter. And then I believe we have Joe Morrow played. Oh no,
No,
I'm
Hilda's
sorry.
the wife.
Hilda's the wife. Medea Zorba is played by Joe Morrow. And the biggest name on the list was Charles Herbert, which was the boy actor from some TV show, and he got top billing. That's how he agreed to do this, which was like, all right, the kid's
kid's creepy as hell.
This guy's even creepier. The messenger that pops out of nowhere to give him the telegram that is about that he needs
very
to see
sunken eyes.
Oh man, sunken face for sure. Played by David Hoffman, who was unaccredited at the time. So it's Buck's birthday. They pick up the cake, and they're just sitting around the floor. And like Courtney said, all he wants is just some furniture. Which I'm like, we talked about this before. Like, this is gonna traumatize Buck, and he's gonna like be very successful, and he's never gonna be without furniture ever again because
it's like, I need my furniture.
Mishi's being real pushy.
She is. The spooky guy that dropped off the telegram, and it was a telegram informing Cyrus that he gets a house from his dead uncle, and he has to report to the lawyer Ben's office.
Well, he doesn't know that at the time. He's just like he
has to go to the lawyer.
He has to go to the lawyer.
I guess he doesn't know what he's got yet.
Yeah. He's just saying. At one point he'd be like, "Fuck, it's another bill."
You'd think,
or like, "Oh shit!"
During the circuit, but he just opens. He's like, I have to go to the lawyers. But isn't that what they said to each other? They're like, "Oh God, again."
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, still very nonchalant. Like, you have nothing to your name. Like, then what are you doing at the Museum of Fine Art or Museum of Natural History Museum? Like, you can't pay your bills. Like, yeah, it's all these fancy suits. Really putting them under. So then we're introduced to
Ben, the lawyer.
Yeah, Ben Rush. I wonder if that's a play on the lawyer's name. Whatever, by Martin Miller. And they become kind of friends. At the beginning, Ben gets real familiar with the house, as like I said it before.
Real familiar with the house. I have a theory, but I guess we can get to it later.
No, you want to?
Well, my theory is that dead Uncle Cyrus.
Oh yeah,
and Ben.
We'll play it later.
Wait. I'm not gonna let it go now.
I actually really liked it. I was like, oh.
You're like, I remember.
Which would be good for the remake.
Which would be good. Which would be so good.
Streaming service, hire us.
Streaming service, can you hear us? I have an idea. But anyway, so yes, we learned that they've inherited Cyrus's house, or not Cyrus's, Zorba's Uncle Pluto Zorba's.
The fucking names.
Plato Zorba's house. Buck gets his wish. They get a house for his birthday.
And yeah, so they, and then Buck is a very like apparently morbid child. He's into ghost stories, stuff like that. Which like, is that a thing? Like, kids get really into morbid stuff growing up. Like I was.
I mean, we're sitting right here.
We're sitting right here.
But
it was more than just a phase mom.
More than just a phase mom. This is who I am. But Buck says some morbid shit in this movie.
Yeah, he does.
Where like there's times where he's just like, "Are we gonna die?" Or asks the ghost like, "Who's gonna die?" I don't know.
Oh, it was. If anything, like I guess he had some of the better lines because
he did.
Fucking.
But he's the top billing actor. They should definitely be giving him the lines.
Even on this IMDb, he's the first one. I don't know if it's in alphabetical order, but
no, that's probably because he's the star.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he did nothing else after this, actually. Or nothing to note.
And he was over it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to fucking act no more.
And then they do a little side note, a little asterisk, basically Ben, the lawyer, tells Cyrus, is like, yes, you get this house and the ghost. Kind of mumbles it on
the ghost.
And the ghost.
But he straight up tells him, he's like, there's not 13 ghosts in the house, but there are ghosts.
There are ghosts in the house. Guess what? Your uncle, little wackadoo, like to collect
ghosts, and they're in the house.
Yeah, and just like,
But again, chill. They're like, cool, we're moving in.
Cool, moving in. And then Cyrus is basically like, well, I know my uncle was into the occult a little bit. I think this was before the Satanic Panic.
Yes.
So,
probably.
It didn't have, because who knows if this movie would have come out in the height of that, or probably would have gotten a lot of shit for it.
Perhaps.
And then there's also a package that comes along with the house, and Cyrus opens it up,
And it's the
just,
glasses.
and it's just the cool glasses. So you kind of, I could imagine like if you were in the movie theater, you were kind of seeing that you had a version of what Cyrus had, and like as Cyrus puts on the glasses, you put on the glasses, you know?
Yeah, and I like that. I like the gimmick of it.
Yeah, I had it right last time, but I think it was called Emergo Vision. It wasn't really too. Also called Ghost Viewers. Illusiono. I'm sorry.
Illusiono.
Yeah, I think Immersion was for a different movie.
Illusiono. Okay. I love this little fly on the string.
Yeah,
it's so
the
good.
fly and the string lands on the glasses, and
it zaps it. It's
Which
like, oh.
So apparently, to show you that his uncle was also like a bit of a scientist. But I also want to put that on my face now.
Exactly. Ooh, it just killed this fly.
Oh, yeah.
Put it right on my face.
Fucking A. Continue, sorry.
No, we're cutting to this. We're at the house, and you said last time the outside of the house is the Winchester house.
Yeah, this is the, I guess, I don't know if for
in San Francisco.
the exterior shot, right?
Exterior, yeah, is Winchester house.
Which all of us, not the inside. I don't think they use that as a set.
No, that's a set because I'm convinced it's the same set as House on a Hill.
I would do the same thing.
So would I. I'm not hating on William.
Have you seen side note? Have you seen like Tyler Perry's studio? Like they do a run through of it.
No, I haven't.
It's like acres in Georgia. He has just like open space for studios, and he just has the front of houses built. And he's like, yeah, this is what we use for this show. And then on the backside, it's a different house. Like,
That's
it's
cool.
Just super cool, super effective. Like, there's not even a house. It's just a front of a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, we use this driveway all the time.
Well,
it's in every show.
It's in every Tyler Perry movie, this driveway.
So then Ben meets Buck, and Buck likes to... No, I'm just saying.
No, Ben and Buck make really fast friends.
Mm-hmm. And then he tells... Buck tells Ben to ring the door, and then a witch will answer. And then all of a sudden, Medea comes out with the biggest bedroom maps I've ever seen
two.
For 1960. I'm like, oh, this is all of a sudden rated PG-13.
Yeah.
And then we get introduced to the housekeeper that came with the house.
And dun dun dun, she is the Wicked Witch of the West, ladies and gentlemen. Her name,
played by Margaret Hamilton.
Yes, and like we said this last time. You knew from the second you saw her, you're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%. That is the Wicked Witch of the West.
That is the Wicked Witch of the West.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck Buck. Sorry, I know he's like the lead dude in this movie.
But Margaret Hamilton should, and they should have used her more.
I know, they really should have. She's great. We are watching a little bit of a speed up version of this movie just because we're re-recording this.
This is a tribute to the greatest episode we've ever recorded that's lost forever.
And also, we just kind of talking amongst each other. We're like, this might be a better idea to do this when we're actually recording anyway.
So then Ben comes by, and I guess just over some tax papers, just do a little paperwork, a little due diligence, you know? He's just doing his job. And then we see Buck playing on the banister, which is going to be, you know, a foreshadowing for later.
Key component in the story.
And fucking Cyrus just can't believe his luck. He's just like, I had no money, and all of a sudden I get a house.
Got a house, yeah.
I did have a good pitch last time, where it was just like, these people are so poor that they inherited a house with ghosts that they have nowhere else to go. And they're just stuck living in a haunted house. I mean, a lot of people probably would have been like, no, you could have lived in your car, you could have gotten out of there. But I'm like, sometimes... You don't got a fucking car. Your car, no, you can't make it. Like that would have been. I think it's it could be a good setup.
It's I think it's a great setup.
Especially could be relatable nowadays.
But we moved along, and Buck brings out a Ouija board.
Yeah, Buck is just finding all the shit.
Now I got in this because I need to get into this again.
Let's get into it again.
All right, Cyrus says the meaning of Ouija. He goes oui as yes in French, and ja as yes in German, and I looked it up, you guys, because when I watched this the first time, I went, nah. That's not it. I was like, is that true? Like, when I first heard, I'm like, is that true? That's not it. So, Ouija boards were invented by, drumroll, Hasbro. It was a game invented just for, like, for what it is. It was to talk to spirits. And I think it gained popularity after the Civil War. Was it civil? No.
Yeah,
not
I think you said Civil
Was it
War?
civil? No.
World War One?
No, not the Civil War. World War One or two.
This would have been
Two-
after
no,
World War
yeah.
Two.
No, because the war came out in the 1889 or something like that. So it would have been
I'll
World.
tell you right
It
now.
gained popularity after World War One. I want to say, not the Civil War. There was no death.
No, there's a lot
No,
of death.
there's a lot of deaths.
A
Sorry, I
lot
was
of
thinking Cold
death.
War. Oh, I'm getting my wars mixed up. I think it was Civil War. yes.
Created 1890.
After the Civil War, it gained popularity for the sole reason so people could talk to their dead relatives who fought in the war.
Spiritualists in the United States believe that the dead were able to contact living and reportedly used talking to the board similarly to a modern Ouija board. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, 1890, so that would have been
Yes.
pretty sure.
Okay, so I was just getting my wars mixed up. I'm so sorry, everyone.
No, no.
Yes. So confirm.
And I have to apologize because tribute to the greatest episode we ever recorded, Courtney had done a very eloquent rundown of the history of the Ouija
I
board.
did.
Yeah, the first time around.
And I was just mostly very excited about the fact that I was like, this guy's fucking wrong. They're telling people that this means yes, yes. It doesn't mean yes, yes.
That's fair. Like
Yeah,
that sounds fucking stupid.
But what it does mean is good luck because a medium asked the origin of it is a medium asked the board to name itself.
Oh,
and it named itself Ouija, which means good luck.
I don't
in
know if this.
Latin?
I don't know if this was created by Hasbro. I think different
Or
versions.
Hasbro got it.
Yeah, I think Hasbro got it eventually.
But it was always marketed as a game, as I
Yeah.
wanted to just clarify.
Oh, side note, the Mars Volta wrote their album Bedlam and Goliath based on their alleged experiences with the Ouija board. I love
That's cool.
the
I love Mars Volta.
Yeah. That's interesting. Those are just fun fact.
Fun fact, we love Mars Volta. No,
but
Ouija boards, I don't fuck with them. That's like one thing, I'm sorry, I will not touch one.
Everybody plays with one at some sleepover, like when they're either elementary school or middle school. And if you're smart, you never touch it again.
Exactly.
I am Latin. Ming is also Latin. We learn that we don't touch that shit. You have one bad experience with it, you're scared fucking straight.
So
That's
speaking of which, this family's experience with it.
Is an aw gee shucks experience.
Oh, gee.
That fucking Cyrus was like, well, let's play with this thing. And then was it Buck and Medea started playing around with it. And then I think
Buck asks us, are there ghosts in this house? It says yes. He asks how many, and it points 13.
he's really, what is it? Yeah, like I said, he's a little bit morbid. He's a little bit creepy because he's like, how many? And then Medea's like, how many what? The board knows. And I'm like, Jesus, kid, get the fuck out of here.
But also, there isn't 13 ghosts in the house.
Oh, snap. You're right.
Because who's the 13th? They're looking for it.
You're right. It was actually supposed to be 12.
But yeah. And then Buck, going on the morbid of it, he is just like, is it gonna kill any of us?
Yeah. Is it here to hurt us?
And then a painting falls on him.
The painting of Cyrus almost flattens this fucking kid. Like, actually, it looked like it really would have messed him up.
Yeah. He gets out of the way.
And the planchet starts to float in the air.
And then points to Medea.
yeah.
Like, she's next.
And you could obviously see the strings.
Which is great.
It's great. Love it.
Oh, and you had a great comment last time. These two are sleeping in separate beds.
Oh, real life horror.
Speaking of the time.
Relationships that don't work.
Well, she doesn't seem very happy.
Well,
Neither
they're
of them
sleeping
do.
in twin beds. I mean, what is it, 19? Yeah, I guess it was more but, I've heard of couples that be like, dude, sleep in separate beds. Like,
You know what movie I always think of? Pleasantville.
oh.
There's a scene where, like, when things start changing in that town, when they're
Yeah.
like, can you believe that the Andersons down the street,
They put their beds.
they got a bed, like, for one whole bed for each other. And they're like, no.
Oh, well, in fairness, they inherited this house.
They did.
So
Oh, you're right. We didn't even think about
They
that.
didn't choose, like, they maybe chose this room, but it came with twin beds.
You're right. Why didn't they choose Medea's room? Maybe they're just used to this.
Yeah.
Because Medea has the nice, lovely queen bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Buck also has a nice size bed too.
Yeah, exactly. That looks like a full size bed right there.
So they chose the room with 2 twin beds.
Oh, because they do. And then Plato Zorba's room is empty. So then, maybe.
Yeah, because no one wants to sleep in where he died.
That's fair.
Which is totally fair. I wouldn't.
Yeah. But in reality, if you live long enough, people have died everywhere.
Yeah, you're not. You're right. Someone's probably died in my house. I don't even know it.
Yeah. So okay, all right, we'll give you that. Okay. Yeah, we were making fun of it real hard last time. The greatest episode we ever recorded.
We'll go down in history.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, there's a lot that you guys don't really need to hear. That's going on.
There's a lot of this movie.
It's a little slow.
I think it is 90 minutes, but it
feels
it feels a little bit longer because I think we are at 25 minutes into the movie, and I think we're just about to get our first ghost.
We are, but there's just so much are you spooked by the ghost? I don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We get to see some ghosts though. It's just down in the living room, and they're projected.
Yeah, as soon as everybody goes to sleep, the ghosts come out and play, which I'm like, okay, I'm down.
They're just hanging out.
We see
I guess they're not spooking anybody.
Well, the one hanging by, the one hanging by their neck, and the executor with the head that he's chopping off. So is that 2 ghosts or is that 1 ghost? I'm still really confused.
Sorry, I just
and I love what Courtney said last time.
The curtain.
So Cyrus comes walking downstairs and he's looking for Zorba's diary, which Buck discovered along with the Ouija board and the planchette. And then then Cyrus is just basically, hey, look at this hallway, which is always a fun thing, right? You can always just put a curtain on a wall.
That's what it is. It's just a curtain, and he goes, well, I've never seen this hallway before. Goes down it.
It cuts to a different scene altogether, different set altogether.
A whole different part of the house.
Let's do it all the time. We'll just put a curtain on this wall.
Curtain.
And then he finds
Zorba's laboratory full of all his experiments.
Yeah, which is behind a door that has a sliding metal door on.
Yeah, it's super hidden.
Which I'm like, all right, sliding metal door.
Not super protected.
Yeah, but it wasn't. He could just walk right in.
Yeah, but I do love a good old bit where you just open a door and it's like a brick wall.
So he walks down. He walks down to the lab. Then Cyrus starts hearing things. So he puts on the glasses and looks at the book, and all the book says 13.
He's like, spooky, ooky.
And the book starts catching on fire. Well, ghost fire, I guess.
Well, ghost fire, and then you said he has the glasses on, so he's seeing all this like we are as the audience.
So this would cut to, as soon as he put the glasses on, it would cut to blue. And then here we get 4 different ghosts than the other 2 ghosts we saw. So now we're at 6 ghosts. We got a floating head, a sort of cloaked figure, a skeleton, and a floating lady.
Yeah, lady. I'd say floating lady. And then they all
catch fire.
Which is cool. I told you last time, my favorite is the fiery skeleton.
Fire skeleton's cool.
Fire skeleton's dope.
Yeah. Also, Ghostfire, great name for a band.
Ghostfire.
Oh, and then we get the spinning wheel. So we're at 7 now. Wait, 7?
So quickly forgot. Wait, so the spinning wheel of death or whatever is considered a ghost?
Yeah.
This thing attacks him for so long, you guys. It goes back and forth 3 times.
I mean, I get it. It could be just an angry...
But it's for the effect of the audience, because you're supposed to have the glasses on and you're watching this.
And it's just coming right at you.
Oh, it's coming at you. Whoa, it's getting them.
You know, this is more effective at the speed.
It's really... Since we're watching this in double speed or whatever, or 1.5, it's cooler.
It's way more... the spinning fire, all right, that would kind of fuck me up.
I was like, oh, that's crazy, because when you watch it regularly, it just takes so long.
Ugh.
So that means that the lion dance coming up will go by a lot quicker.
So we're at 7 right now. Spinning, and I get maybe the spinning fireball is like a weird angry specter. Just I would love it. Add a scream to it. Just being
a scream would have been fun.
Oh, just scream coming
just
at you. Fire.
Yeah.
Fuck me up too.
And that would have been cheap and easy to do.
Fun fact corner. This spinning specter fiery ball of fire specter thing was also used in the original Star Trek's TV
That's
show.
right. Yes, that's
but
really
but I
cool.
like 6 years later, 1966. And then after Zorba gets the fucking shit scared out of him,
with all those ghosts, he runs back to work.
well, he gets imprinted with the number 13 on his
Again.
hand, which
Knowing what we know now, it doesn't make any sense.
well, it's like foreshadowing that he might be
The 13th ghost, I guess. But Cyrus runs back to work to have a little chat with his friend. Is it Vin?
Van Allen.
Van Allen.
Which is a fucking name.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
And this is where Van informs Cyrus.
Well, basically what his uncle was up to.
Yes.
Basically, Van Allen
has a lot more info about
Van Allen has his shit together. Look at it. He's
Allen.
put together. He's got his suit. He's like, you know what? They're not repossessing my house, Cyrus. Get your shit together. I got info on your uncle. Turns out he was taking photos of fucking ghosts with some weird camera he had, and he was capturing them and he released them into the house.
Yeah. So like, get it together,
Get
Cyrus.
it together. You know?
You got a family.
Yeah, you got a fucking family. Fucking put it together.
Van Allen has but then he says right there, he goes, so far he's captured 11 ghosts.
12.
He said 11.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, because Zorba's a 12th ghost.
And yeah. Why did it? Never mind.
And he also has like info on the fucking glasses. Like, damn, for no internet, Van Allen
is on it.
On it.
You're right. We never really find out how he figured this all out.
He's just doing research. I don't know.
He just ran some numbers.
He's a paleontologist.
He's Jurassic Park.
Yeah. You see 12. You said.
I thought at first he said that there was only he'd
caught
caught 11.
He'd caught 11, and then he's reading Zorba's diary where he says, I am the 12th ghost.
So we're still looking for number 13, which would make sense why we think, or we're led to believe, that Cyrus is the 13th ghost.
And I think I might have mentioned this before the last episode, where it was just like, that was a good play on it, where like if you saw the remake, you expected, oh, well, they're just doing the same thing where Zorba's dead, and spoiler alert for the 2000 version, Zorba is quite alive. You know, it's like his whole gimmick.
Yes, it's his whole gimmick, because he's tricked everyone. But also, in the remake, the count doesn't really matter. They're just kind of killing people.
Oh, in the
remake, you know how like the people that die in the house don't go towards the ghost number.
Oh, yeah. Like they specifically did they collect 12?
They did, but what I meant is the characters like Matthew Lillard's death
and the lawyer,
and like the lawyer's death, and that other girl that's in that movie. When they all die, none of them get counted towards ghosts.
Gotcha. Which they should have been.
Which they should have been, but they don't. Which just doesn't make any sense.
So then Cyrus is at work talking to Van Allen, who has his shit together, and then he gets a call from
Hilda, his wife.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gets a call from Hilda.
And she's like, oh my God, these ghosts.
These ghosts are fucking nuisance.
They're spilling milk and flour in my kitchen.
Fucking up my shit.
Which last time you were upset.
I was like,
you were like, someone threw milk on my floor.
I'd be so fucking upset. Be like, these fucking ghosts.
But that's like the height of what these ghosts do. Besides the meat cleaver that gets thrown here.
Oh, and then Buck walks in. they get kind of scared of Buck. They walk away from Buck because Buck's got all the exposition.
But they also backed up because they knew that was going to get thrown.
Oh, that's fair.
So, the timing of it, though, because Buck walks in and is just like, I just talked to Elaine about these spooky little ghosts, and did you know that this guy killed his wife because she was having an affair in the kitchen, and then he cut her head off, and so they back up because a meat cleaver gets thrown at them, so they're moving to their spot that they need to be.
They're blocking. But then For a second, I think you think Buck is just talking to the ghost, which I also would have loved.
I love that, but you find out he's just talking to Elaine,
He's just talking.
played by the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, the housekeeper who just has all the info. Which later you find out
They worked together.
Zorba Plato. She was like his assistant because she was medium, helping him capture these ghosts. And she says she worked for many years on his supernatural experiments.
Don't you think Zorba looks like Ben Franklin?
It's just the
painting.
old timey paintings. They all look the same.
They all look the same.
Like it kind of he kind of looked like Elaine, like
A little bit. But yeah, that's Elaine's backstory, is that she was helping him capture the ghost because she's a medium. And is this where she brings up the idea that we should do this?
No,
no,
yet.
we're not there yet. Sorry.
But it's also like, how is that like the first thing you say?
Exactly. Oh, this is when she was like, we were looking for the money because he has money. It was the whole point. And the lawyer and her is Zorba kind of lost his mind, and he took out everything. He took all of the assets out, all the stocks, all the bonds, and they want to know where this cash is at.
Yeah, like said that he got reclusive in his last days and he closed himself off. He cashed all of his assets and just kind of iced her out, pretty much.
And then her and Ben the lawyer have been looking for it.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. She said that they were looking for it together. Because technically you owed Ben money.
I guess you would owe her money too.
I guess.
If she's working for you. But like, I don't clean this house for free.
Exactly, because yeah, you said that before. Like when they inherited the house, she came along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was the housekeeper. And how does she get paid, Mishi? I know.
Exactly. Oh, and then we get left with the question, as Elaine's giving all this exposition dump, that he wrote in his diary that he had crimes committed against him, and Elaine has no idea what he's talking about, but basically felt like somebody was coming after him.
Someone was chasing him.
Yeah. So then Elaine takes Cyrus up to Plato's room, Dr. Zorba, which I guess was under lock and key up until now. So we've never seen this room. So that's another reason they didn't stay in this room, because it was locked.
It was locked, but also, well, we find he died in here. But this is where I came up with my lovely theory, which I will announce now, because she claims, on the day that he died, him and Ben had been working long hours.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they have. So this is my theory. Him and Ben were lovers. Him and Ben were lovers. And Mishi
Agreed.
agrees. Okay. She's like, yeah. And then things went wrong.
Yeah, things went wrong, and basically Ben killed. I guess we're spoiler alert.
We're
now.
spoiling it, but again, this is a recap. Ben kills Zorba, but when when Cyrus, all these names,
these fucking old names,
is in this bedroom investigating himself, Elaine leaves, and this is what I'd like to call the most helpful candle in the world, because as he's standing there, the candles had blown out after Elaine lit them, and then you get to see them light up again, and then one, again by wire, starts floating around. And it's cool, whatever. They use the flashlight effect with it to let you know that, like, it's actually working. He's like, I'm showing you. Come down here. Like, what's this? And you find out this weird-ass contraption to the bed. But also, we both thought that this candle was going to light
the bed
the fabric on fire.
It's good. So this bed's got a canopy, and there's a little.
Because it's like 1,000 years old.
Yep. And then he shows you the little knob, and for some reason, the canopy lowers onto the bed.
Yeah, that's what this knob does. Which again, it's a bottle cap.
Yeah,
it's
a fake bottle. It's just a bottle cap.
It's a bottle cap they screw to the side of this bedpost. But yeah, when you turn it, the top of this canopied bed comes all the way down and squishes.
Yeah, it'll just
whoever
lowers.
suffocates whoever would have been laying in the bed, which that is how Zorba
Which is
dies.
questionable in itself. Like, why would you have that there beforehand?
Yeah, and that's why I said they were lovers.
Yeah, it's a
Ben
little S&M, little...
and Zorba were lovers, and they were just into some kinky shit.
A little autoerotic asphyxiation.
And if Ben would have just admitted that and been like, look, it was an accident.
Oh, it went too far?
It went too far.
Little
the kink
loving
went
too much?
too far.
And the kink went too far. Yeah.
But we go back downstairs, and Medea has gone on a date with Ben.
That's a name.
And she's very smitten kitten with him.
Mm-hmm. And she turns out how late it is, and it's just like, well, I should get to bed. And she walks over to her bed, starts doing her things, and then everybody's asleep, and then
You're right, she does come home quite late. Everyone's asleep.
And then we get introduced to the creepy ghost walking around, a different ghost. So this presumably would have been the ghost number 8 so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it's covered in cobwebs and boots, and walks over to Medea's room, where it's going to scare the fucking shit out of her. And we kind of, when you're watching this movie, you can kind of tell it's a different ghost because you don't have to put your glasses on for this one. And we see the ghost walking where we don't see any of the other ghosts walking.
Oh, wait, but when you were watching this on your version, did this part come up as colored?
It would have been good, though. It would have been a good mislead.
It would have been a good mislead. But that kind of gave it away for you to be like, we kind of know this isn't
100%.
a ghost.
You know immediately it's not a ghost because you don't have to put on your special Illusion-O glasses for it.
Right. And I guess you're kind of thinking like, hey, there's no way Ben could have got up there that quick. Who is this?
Oh, but
is it the housekeeper? You know?
Yeah.
Just trying to as to what the audience would actually be feeling.
You could have been like, oh, it could have been Zorba still living inside the house.
Oh, I suppose you're right. Now, credits due. I do like the mask that they use.
When you do get to see like the ghosts without the kind of like overlay and the designs, like they are kind of jacked up faces, so you would see some really, really creepy designs. So the window starts, I guess, fluttering in the wind, and the Medea goes to close it, and then as she closes the door, the 8th ghost comes out with a fucking melted ass face. And yeah, that was creepy the fucking shit out of me too. I like the melted face. Yeah, melted face is a good design.
And as Medea is like screaming out of there, Elaine just pops out of the corner.
Yeah, she just like startles her. She's like, I was around the corner the entire time.
Yeah, she was literally in Medea's room.
Yeah,
like, based on that, how quickly she showed up.
And then she walks over to the window and just leaves it open.
Yeah.
And then we get cut to the next morning, and Buck's playing on the banister again.
Yeah, they don't address what happened until the morning. Do they?
Well, I think she ends up sleeping with her mom.
Oh yeah, she's just spooked.
Yeah.
And when Buck rolls down the canister again, banister, money comes out.
Yeah. Like a fucking Mario block.
Cash. But he doesn't notice. He carries on. He's got ghost hunting to do.
Yeah, he's just playing with the glasses, walking around, doing Buck things.
Goes into the basement. Giant basement.
Kind of Dennis the Menace in it.
He is.
Like, he only needed a jumper, basically.
Yeah. So once down in the basement exploring.
And Buck's in the basement, and we cut to... He's just fucking around. He sees some...
He sees
some artifacts left by... I guess Zorba collected some of the ghosts' personal effects. Yeah. And we will insert the true story that Ming has.
We will insert Ming's circus story because it's great.
It was on. I was thinking it was on that microphone. So I think.
Okay, so and I think we got it on my mic. Ming Fox. I just saying you have a great circus story. Drop in here. Let's pause it for Ming's circus story. It's real quick.
Hi. So here we go. Story time with Ming. When I was a kid, I forgot how old I was. Old enough.
Like 8, 9, or younger.
Old enough, Courtney.
Okay, fine. I wanted a little bit more of your mindset of what actual age you were. Because 6, believable. 10, I'm gonna be like, hey, Ming.
Okay, just to confirm.
I can stupid shoot too, but not okay.
Okay, so today I actually called my mother. in the car, and I was like, Mom, I need you to confirm, nor am I a big old fat old liar. But the story is too. But it was such a good story. But if you know me, I'm very not dramatic, but it's just like a little super. So the circus was in town, and I went with my sister and my mom. Where the hell was my dad? I have no idea. Probably doing something stupid. Let's pivot. Pivot. I wanted to dance with the bear, so I told my mom I was gonna go to the bathroom, which was a big fucking lie. And I think my sister was hysterical, screaming because she didn't want to stay. So my mom,
Your sister straight up just didn't want to be.
No. So no. She was just being a bitch.
That's what I feel like. You must have been like 6 or 7 if your mindset was like, I want to go play with this bear. Yeah.
So it'd be really funny. It's like I was 15, and I'm like, I blocked it from my mind.
In the car, Edgar was like, "So you were 22?"
Yeah. Mid-30s, Ming.
I'd be like, "Ming, get out of that fucking bear cage."
YOLO, guys. Okay, let's stop for a second. I was stupid back then. Not stupid now.
I know you're not.
I
That's what
would've
I mean.
did-
You had to be like 6 or 7.
Yeah, the stupid age where you're just like,
You were like, I want to go pet this bear, not even thinking.
yeah, like money grows on trees, whatever. So I lied to my mom, which I think she was just trying to shut me up. I don't think she realized I was actually leaving to go to the fucking bathroom because I'm a kid, but whatever. I snuck behind like the stage and everything, and I ended up in the bear cage, and I went inside and I wanted to dance with the bears. And I got tackled, and I was so fucking mad. I was so fucking audacity.
The audacity of those security guards.
Doing their job. How dare they? But it was Ringling Brothers. Yeah. And then on top of that, like, they changed their whole rules because of this little girl. That is me. I am that little girl.
Look up the story on the internet. Miami, 1988.
Ish. But
1990. Let's just settle that. 1990.
But when I talked to my mom about it, she was hysterical because my sister was hysterical crying, saying she didn't want to be there. And she was like, where the fuck is Ming? And where is she? And she's like scrambling around. And then here am I crying. Yeah. And then I was like, I didn't want me to touch the bear. My mom was like, what the fuck? Like,
Your sister's doing the big sister job. I have similar. The one time I fell in the lake when I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5, couldn't really swim, and there was also giant catfish. My sister saved me. And I was just like, because she was like, but I would, like, to my sister, I was like, yeah, fuck you, you don't get my Reese's peanut butter cups, because I'm the one that fell in the lake. But your sister was doing the good big sister, be like, oh,
wait a minute, no, that was my mom. My sister was still, no, bitch is still screaming that she wants to go home. So there's me, and then my sister was like, I want to go home, and my mom's like, I hate the fucking both of you guys right now. Yeah, real life, right? Yeah. So that was a real story that this actually happened, but it's wild because I completely block it from my memory. And like we did tell you the story. Yeah.
You told me before, but this is the first time Edgar's hearing it.
No. He heard this before by my mom. How dare they? How dare they do their job? They took my. Yeah. How dare they? Fuckers. My mom can tell the full story, but it was funny the whole time. Misha's like, I want to go home, and then there's me who's just like, I'm getting caught by security.
And then your mother's like, Jesus fucking Christ, I just want to go to the circus. But he's dicking around in there playing with the whip and the hat from for the lions, tamers, ghost stuff. Opens up the lions.
That's a small cage for a super small
which
cage.
we hit on. It's a tiny cage. Don't go to the circus.
It's a little bit of
Don't go to circuses.
animal cruelty. Well, you can go to Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, Cirque du Soleil's fine.
That's a
Go to
circus.
that. Like, I still think zoos are not okay. Like, I still feel very indifferent about zoos.
Yeah, zoos are not great, but sometimes, like I worked in a museum that had a bird rehabilitation center,
Right.
because people would bring hurt birds there all the time from the city, and once a bird that has, or certain large birds have interactions with humans, they're not allowed. Yeah, they're not allowed to go back into the wild because they could potentially hurt somebody because they're already used to a human now. So
And I understand that. So I guess with some captive animals, maybe that like they're just healthy and happy, chilling where they're at. Cool. So I guess that's why I say I'm indifferent, because I don't really know how to feel about it, because I know some are so awful
yeah,
and hurt animals, and then there are people like that are trying to do good things.
yeah. And then we cut back to Buck, who
Buck's dancing with this lion.
well
ghost lion.
Buck starts fucking around with the cage, and the cage starts fucking roaring at him, and then the lion ghost comes out, which we were kind of conflicted before if the lion was actually a ghost. So apparently it is. Oh, so maybe the lion ate the lion tamer, and then the lion
They're
was
both
shot.
ghosts.
Yeah, I could see
But
that.
I'll say this again. The lion tamer's a kind of a goofball.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
He's just goofing around. He's like, "Hey, Buck, come here. Like, let me show you my lion." And then he's whipping around, and he starts like joking around where he's like, "Look, he ate my head." Like, you know.
Hey, watch me stick my head. Oh, my head's there.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'd be like, he did kill me, but now we have a joke. He ate my head.
And then and then it's a real lion and
It's a
lion,
very real lion.
and I guess it's a real lion tamer, because
Yeah.
that lion is
and
really swatting at that.
My
fucking
favorite
dude.
thing. Buck comes upstairs. He goes, "I met a lion." Mom goes, "That's cool." She goes, "That's great."
That's also good for the remake where Buck comes across this fucking gonzo shit, and then it just cuts back to Buck just like going back to his mom and his dad, and just like
Then maybe
life
like,
as usual.
That's what, like, Buck is so neglected, and I think that's probably another reason with the storyline where he becomes such great friends with Ben.
Oh, because he's got nobody. Yeah,
Got
that's fair.
nobody. But Buck goes back into the living room, and then he sees the cash that's on the floor.
And fucking Ben just walks in.
Ben shows up with great timing.
Like
He's
fucking
"What's-"
Urkel just walks in the fucking front door.
Yeah,
like he lives there.
And he's like, "Wait, you got money?" He's like, "Wait, you got money? Where'd you get that money?" And then Buck shows him. He's like, "Well, I just found it." And he's like, "Well, that's a lot of money."
yeah, what did we had done it.
You did the math.
How much? What did I say it was? Like it was $200.
Is equivalent to like $2,000.
$2,000 now. So like if I
Yeah.
found $2,000 on the floor, yeah,
Of course.
I'm putting it in my pocket.
And then Ben tells Buck, he's like, "You can keep it."
yeah, because
He's like, "But don't you tell nobody."
yeah, he's a fucking kid, so he doesn't like. He's like, what am I gonna do with this money? I don't fucking need anything right now.
He's
Could have
like,
bought furniture, Buck.
Yeah, you
So-
wanted furniture for your birthday. But yeah, that's all. He's like, "Don't tell anyone that you found the money. Don't tell them. Yeah, keep it between you and I," which is the first sign of a predator. Everybody.
Yeah, or somebody's hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ben starts to look around.
Ben
like,
is
what
like,
the
"Shit,
fuck?
where did he put this fucking money?" Oh yeah, that's right. Because Buck has to run upstairs and give his breakfast to his sister because she's still spooked.
Oh, I was wondering about that. You know what? That makes sense. I already forgot. Because
Yeah.
I guess it takes. I think when we were watching this originally, the lion scene takes so.
The lion
long.
scene truly takes like 20 minutes. And I understand why they did that. It's a cool effect. It's a real lion. They're like, "Yo, we bought this lion. We gotta use him."
Yeah.
Like, he sure did. It was an actor. Of course, like I said, they hired him. I shouldn't say bought. They hired the lion. He was a professional, so they're like, "We better get his screen time in." But it's a long scene.
Yeah, very long.
And then it does another quick scene with Ben and Buck again, because he's like, "You didn't tell your sister about the money." He's like, "No, of course not. I would never." Because this is Buck's best friend is Ben. And then Ben informs him about the treasure, Zorba's treasure. And Buck's kind of like, "Okay." Again, Ben's like, "You can't tell him. You can't tell your family that we're looking for this treasure, and you're gonna help me find it."
which is again super fucking weird.
Super weird. And he's like, if anyone catches you hunting, just act like nothing's happening. It's fine, but we're gonna hunt for this treasure together.
And the lion's name was Zamba.
Zamba. Oh, that's
is
cute.
the real lion's name, and he was on certain shows like the Addams Family at the time. But like you said, like we got fucking Zamba on the fucking bill. Like we gotta give Zamba its fucking time.
Yeah.
And then Ben and Buck shake hands, be like, "All right,
Yeah, they have the deal. They're
yeah,
like, okay.
we're agreed. We're not gonna tell anybody because wouldn't it be great if we gave your parents all the money at once?" Oh, I think it's later. Later, he's just like, "Well, I gotta give my dad the money now." He's like, "No, give it later when we find everything."
It'll be so exciting.
So
yeah, it's just
excited. Don't tell them
so
now.
fucking shady and gross.
Yeah, kids. If an adult tells you not to tell somebody, you should probably tell somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, you really should.
Unless it's personal, like you're poor.
Yeah, but in this case, Buck. But again, he doesn't have his parents don't give a shit about anything.
I mean, Cyrus is, wondering if he's going to die because he's been labeled, Hilda is
Are they,
just
though?
like trying to cook in the house and she's dealing
Are
with
they?
these fucking
She's so bothered. She's like, "Oh God, they're fucking milk and flour all over my kitchen again."
I mean, you imagine there, like,
Every
you're
day.
wasting money because these ghosts are just spilling all your fucking ingredients all over the floor.
But they got nowhere else to go.
Nowhere else to go. Then we cut to Ben. We cut to Ben.
Running up to go see Cyrus at work.
And Ben's basically got a little bit of a plan, and you could sort of you got no idea that like Ben's up to no good. You got a little bit of an incentive right now, or a little bit of an inkling. I'm sorry, that Ben's kind of up to no good, but you don't really get it from here. He's just gonna go visit Cyrus, but he's gonna basically try to persuade Cyrus to be like, basically like, you know what? You've only been there a couple of days. You haven't actually inherited the house. I could just say you haven't.
Yeah,
inherited
he
the
all of a
house.
sudden tries to throw this like, I found a loophole for you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like you said, he's like, "Oh yeah, if I've been there a couple of days, I bet I could like file some paperwork and then you could get your money."
Yeah. Which I'm like, was he actually going to, or is he just going to find the treasure and just pay him off?
Which that's what I was led to believe, that he wanted to find the treasure and then run.
Better
right?
yet, he just says that he doesn't inherit the house, and then he just doesn't pay him off at all, and he just fucking like, yep, so too sad, so sad. What is it? Too bad, so sad.
Too bad, so sad.
The
Yeah,
too bad,
yeah.
so sad law.
The too bad, so sad law.
Yeah,
It's legit.
it's legit. Like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't inherit the house. What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's mine now.
Yeah.
Gay lover.
But yeah, he just basically confirms. He's like, "Hey, I could think I can get you that 10 grand from the state."
And Cyrus is considering it because he's just like, fuck my, like, we're being
Am I
haunted.
is this ghost gonna kill me?
We're being haunted. I might die. My daughter was screaming last night. Like,
But then Van Allen walks in and delivers. He comes in and he goes, he found Zorba's journal. So once again, I don't know where Van has been.
where's he getting all this info?
Yeah, because he comes in with Zorba's journal. And he's like, "Look what his last thing that he wrote."
Well, Cyrus gave him the journal.
Oh,
Yeah, the journal
shoot,
that
okay.
Buck found like the first night. But I just realized, I think that's the premise of Amityville Horror, or what they do in The Conjuring, where this family has like put all this money into the house, so they have nowhere to go, so they're stuck being haunted.
oh,
So like you have nowhere to go,
you have no ghost. So
but there's always in-laws. There's always your mom's place.
I don't know.
Some people.
Maybe the ghosts are better.
Damn. Ooh, who are the real monsters?
Who are the real monsters?
Oh shit, that's even better.
That's a cool.
See? Added to it.
Who are the real monsters?
Streaming service.
You know what? I might just choose to live in a haunted house.
Oh shit.
If that means, wait, you want me to live with my mother-in-law? Sorry.
Fuck that.
Fuck out of here.
No, I like it. I like the story we're writing better.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Is anyone writing this down for us?
Copyright.
Copyright.
So then, and I mean, I guess they have nothing too, right? So they're like, yeah, we can leave tonight. In my head, I'm like, well, don't they need like a week to leave? I'm like, oh, that's right. They have nothing.
They just showed up with their suitcases.
Literally the clothes on their back.
Mm-hmm. But they don't decide to leave right now. They're holding a seance first.
Well, because Van Allen comes in and he's just like, "What is it? Van Allen that comes in?" He's like,
I think it was Van.
He's just like, find out that Elaine is a medium.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can hold a seance tonight. And,
Yeah, so they're like,
and
we're going to
Ben's
hold...
like, aren't you leaving tonight? Isn't that weird? Weren't you going to leave and I'm going to do this stuff for you? Like, you don't want to stay. And he's like, no, we can do the seance tonight. I'll leave in the morning.
Which we talk... no. You do the seance, and then you leave.
Leave right afterwards.
But they're like, but we'll sleep after the seance, which is bonkers to me. But I think a seance has to exist between like midnight and 3 a.m., right? I don't think there are rules, but that just feels like the appropriate time.
I mean, it's 3 a.m. somewhere.
It's 3 a.m. somewhere.
But
Elaine
I mean, like,
shows up getting ready to hold this seance.
Quick side note, Ben fucked up. If you wanted him out of the house, you should have given him money up front. You always give money up front if you want to get something done. You know, you want a job done, 50%, 20%.
But also, that's
down.
just like smart business.
That's how. I mean, even if
Mish.
Even if he was gonna like, you know, stiff him in the end, you got to give him something to get out of the house. You know,
Exactly. Even if he was gonna stiff him, which we think he would have, he'd have been like, but I can give you 200 or 500 right now.
Yeah, the down payment just to get
you
you on your feet.
could have gotten Buck. You could have ran to Buck and been like, "Hey, pal."
Oh shit! You get the $200.
I'm like, "Can you loan me that $200? I promise I'll give it back to you." You know, Buck would have.
He totally would have.
Yeah.
So
once again,
they're holding the seance in the living room, and then we cut to Buck fucking around the banister again, and then
finds more money.
I mean, as a kid, I fucked around on I wrote down so many like I thought it was the kid thing to do.
And then Buck finds where the money's been stashed, and it's in the staircase.
Yeah. Which I'm surprised. You know what?
That's a cool hiding spot.
Well, I'm surprised, Zorba. You got a whole fucking house. You're a fucking scientist. You're a fucking engineer. You've captured, and you're gonna hide the money in the staircase.
It's hiding in plain sight.
Give
right?
me a fucking Indiana Jones storyline where they gotta trace back all the fucking clues so they can find out where the fucking money is. I need invisible ink. I need fucking burned notes. I need a fucking trap.
Right. Okay, I guess with Zorba's really being so eccentric as he claims to be, I guess you're right. I kind of like the idea of it's hidden in plain sight.
I mean, okay. You know what you could still do? Hidden in plain sight. It's there the entire time. You were just like, you know, scrambling around to find it. You know,
okay.
Add it to the movie.
Like he gave so many clues, you kind of got
it's
way
right
lost.
Here, yeah. It's been here the entire time.
Been here the whole time.
You, Zorba.
Fuck you, Zorba.
So then we come
back to the seance.
I'm sorry. Buck finds the money. His dad comes out, Cyrus, and just be like, go to bed. He's just like, oh, just another 5 minutes. And then he's just like, fine.
He's
real lax on the parenting.
Real lax on the parenting. Because, like, forget about the seance happening behind this curtain here.
Yeah, he's like, we're not doing anything. We're just sitting around. We're just eating shit, you know?
But then they go back into the seance room, and Cyrus is getting possessed by Zorba's ghost.
Yeah, and all he's saying is Zorba. Which is weird though, because in a second he gets possessed by Zorba, but then Cyrus sees the ghost of Zorba. So it wasn't like a real possession. It only possesses him for
like a few seconds.
Yeah. Speaking of possession, I saw Exorcist Believer yesterday.
How did you feel about it?
Can we spoil it? Can you watch
spoil it?
Man, all right. So I thought David Gordon Green, which has done a bunch of other stuff in the last few years, some stuff of note, and I thought it was kind of like, oh well, how are you going to make Exorcist, you know, like more intense? You know, like, oh, we'll just add a second girl to it, right? So like,
yeah,
and there is the whole.
I got that. That's the idea of it.
Yeah, and the ending kind of had me a little fucked up.
Okay,
like they kind of do the whole gimmick thing, like, oh, we just gotta, you know, exercise these little girls, yada yada, and that's what it kind of feels like. It's like, oh, they're just playing everything over again. The parents are traumatized. These girls are getting hurt, yada yada yada, and then I guess the demons that are possessing the girls are basically telling the parents, well, you got to choose one of them, or we'll let one of them go, you know, but you got to choose which girl gets to survive. And then one of the parents is always kind of like on the outs and just not really believing. He's not really participating. He kind of just, in like the heat of the moment, chooses his little girl. You know, like, well, let my little girl survive. Let my little girl live, take the other one. Which is like, if I'm a parent, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. I'm going to beat the fuck out of this dad. You know, like, you just told a fucking demon you can take my little girl.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, ugh. And then all of a sudden, turns out the demon tricks them, you know, lets the other little girl leave, and literally takes the other girl. The girl dies in the fucking movie, and then you see the girl's soul being taken to fucking hell.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, oh shit. Like,
oh.
so then the dad has to live with that consequence. Like, basically,
well,
like,
he won't be alive for long.
and then, yeah, so like, as soon as that, you see the little girl wake up, like, you see the girl that gets chosen wake up for a second, and then you just see her die. Like, just sees and just fucking close her eyes, and her heart rate flattens out because she's hooked to a monitor. And then you see her wake up in a fucking dungy basement covered in water, and then hands just start coming out from the floor and just start dragging her down to fucking hell with demons.
Wow.
And you're like, and for a second I'm like, all right, well, how's she gonna come back from this? Like, they're not gonna.
So they just straight up kill a kid.
Oh man, I was like, it kind of made the movie worth it, but everything up until then, I'm like, fuck.
Because that's what I'm gonna see. It doesn't matter. I never cared about spoilers. I'll still watch it because that's all I've heard was that it was just such a letdown.
But that was like,
But the ending sounds
that was horrific.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
It's fucked up. Which I'm like, all right, I'll give it to you. But everything up until that, you're like, yeah, nothing was surprising or special.
Okay.
Up until that point.
Up until that point.
Yeah. And we're back to the movie.
But don't worry, it's okay. They just had the seance.
They just had the
I don't
seance.
think you need to go back.
We're just going back
a couple bit.
Yeah, we only got about like another 10 minutes of the movie left. I think this works.
This works. This actually works. I mean, again, it was the greatest episode ever. Sorry, you guys will never get to hear it.
So then we cut to, Ben's too motherfucking comfortable. They're having a seance in the middle of the fucking night. Ben just walks into the fucking house. We know now he's probably walking in the house to look for the fucking treasure. But he runs into Buck right at the entrance, and Buck finds the money.
Yeah, and he's like, and shows Ben. He's like, Ben, I did it. And then that's when Ben's like, go to bed.
Go to bed. We'll give your parents the money in the morning.
In the morning, just go to bed.
It's a little bit of an unusual seance. All right, so like I said, Zorba gets possessed. Cyrus gets possessed by Plato. Cyrus walks over to the mantle. He puts on the glasses so everybody can see the ghost of Zorba walk down from the mantle, and then gets possessed. Then possesses Cyrus again, and then he starts screaming. And what does he start saying?
13.
Oh, that's all he says.
13.
So he's foreshadowing that somebody's gonna die tonight. Which again, if I was Cyrus, I would have felt pretty fucking bad, because I would have been like, "Oh shit, we're supposed to leave tonight." Oh shit.
Oh shit! I'm supposed to take my family to safety tonight.
Oh fuck me. And then Plato Zorba just walks backwards back to the mantle. So, I mean, I'll give you that. They still give you some mystery to the story, right? We're not given everything. So then Cyrus is basically telling Elaine, like, you got to bring him back. We need to know more. And she's like, no, the ghosts are restless. Death walks tonight. And then they all start looking at each other. That's the moment you motherfucking leave. That's the moment you leave the fucking house. And then we cut to Zorba's room.
The reveal that Mr. Spooky Cobweb Pants was Ben.
Was Ben the entire time. You think that since that costume is in Plato Zorba's room, you think like that was their kink? Like ghost?
Yeah,
ghost kink?
Maybe it's...
Oh,
that's another layer. They had a ghost kink together.
Because it's the same scene where we get introduced to Ben, where he's walking, shuffling out of Plato's room, where he kept, I guess, his ghost outfit.
And then he messed with the bed again,
making sure that the suffocation, erotic asphyxiation.
Because now Ben's in too far, so he's like, I gotta kill another person.
Yeah, he's like, some people know too much, and now I gotta kill a kid. That's so.
I would have been
that would have been nice, kind of like in our version of the movie.
In our version.
where Ben has to realize he has to kill Buck, so he just feels real conflicted about it, and he's just like, "Fuck, I gotta kill this kid now."
Yeah, because in this he isn't. He's like, "Up, time to go kill the kid."
Yeah, because he's real nonchalant about it. All right,
Yeah,
guess
he's
I'm
like,
gonna-
all right. He like Ben is or Buck is sleeping in his bed, and Ben just goes and scoops him up, brings him to the like suffocation squish bed.
And this is how Courtney kind of came up to the theory that Ben and Plato are lovers, was because Ben knows way too much about this house.
Mhm.
He knows the ins and outs. He knows where everything is. He knows where the canopy knob is. And I'm just like, how would he know all this? And Courtney was just like, yeah,
Because
he has
like,
an intimate knowledge.
of the house. And like, if you were gonna kill Zorba, Ben, you could have done it a much simpler way than this fucking extravagant bed.
Well, I mean, he would have, whatchamacallit, it would have looked like, it wouldn't have looked like an accident. It would have looked like he fell asleep he would have died in his sleep, excuse me.
Yeah.
So it would have been actually pretty easy unless you knew that knob was there. The cops aren't going to investigate that, And then we have the slowest death possible.
Yeah,
because
that's what I mean. The canopy ledge suffocation bed
is slowly,
lowering down on Buck. But
Mhm.
while this is happening, the ghost of Zorba comes through the vent, which is great, and then starts chasing Ben over to the bed because he's spooking him.
I think it's the same masks too. That
It's the same. It is the same mask.
I think Ben and Plato are using the same mask.
I like your addition to our theory is that it must have been a ghost kink. So they have like these spooky masks with each other. But anyway, Ghost of Zorba pushes Ben into the suffocation bed, and then Ben gets it.
Yeah, as Buck wakes up and
watches this whole thing happen.
sees his uncle hold down a man as he gets
Ghost uncle.
Yeah, and the ghost uncle stares at Buck, and that's gonna fuck up Buck.
And
for the
again,
rest of
you
his
said
life.
this great last time. You're like, imagine Buck's point of view. Like, this was your friend. Now, we know Ben was disgusting and a predator or whatever.
a liar,
A
manipulator,
whatever.
murderer.
But to Buck, he was his friend.
Yep.
And to see this again, your dead ghost uncle squishing your friend or putting it, it's just, yeah.
I'm just
it's
murdering.
morbid.
My ghost uncle murdered my friend.
Yeah.
And then looked at me as he did it.
Looked, it means he did it. Ghost, or yeah, my best friend / future
My best
brother-in-law.
Yeah. Because he was gonna keep Medea's
He was
beard.
gonna keep, yeah, but I guess not anymore because Ben was trying to kill Buck.
Jesus.
Maybe Buck realized that. Who knows? Like, why was I in this bed and I woke up to it?
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe it come. Yeah, maybe like that's
But
weird.
you still wouldn't know because Ben is dead now. You wouldn't.
Fair. Yeah, you maybe would have assumed that the ghost brought you there for some reason, or
'cause-
tried to kill you. Yeah.
Whatever.
And then it gets even
And then
weirder.
here we go.
It gets even weirder. We just cut to the next morning,
And
they're
they're
just
counting money.
they're just counting their
family's
money.
Just counting the fucking money.
Oh, gee golly! Not,
Gee golly, that Ben guy died. He sure was nice.
get the fuck out of
Like,
here!
And then Buck finds the fucking mask.
Yeah, the kink mask,
Kink mask.
the ghost gimp mask,
Ghost kid mask.
and then he's like, oh, and he scares the family, and the family's like, oh, gee,
Oh,
shucks,
Buck, you little goof.
put that away. Oh, it smells
God.
awful.
Ben died 2
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah, literally hours ago. And they sure are happy now because they got money.
Well, they got money. They got their money. They found it.
But
And allegedly the ghosts aren't there anymore, but they're going to come back, according to
yeah,
Elaine.
because I guess maybe Zorba was holding the ghosts back, but now that Zorba's, finished business is now concluded.
Yeah, he killed Ben, so now he can rest peacefully.
Yeah. And then Elaine, the medium, is be like, they'll be back. And then we kind of find out that there's $10,000 there. And this is like the most play money that Play Money has ever
it's
played on
so
TV.
Jokey.
But I get it. Maybe Elaine did that. So I'm seeing the glasses float up and the glasses explode.
And then it transitions over to Elaine, and she grabs her broom, and she gives you this little
Little wink.
this little wink, this little look, like she's up to something. And honestly, that's my favorite because I love her.
But
There would have been
then-
more of her in this movie.
So that you're led to believe that she did that.
Perhaps.
Because Buck just asked her if she was a real witch. And then she's like, ask no silly questions. I'll tell you no silly answers or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
And then she has a broom. And then she sure is a witch.
oh, because she made that full. She exploded those glasses.
Mhm.
Yeah. But then, all right. So they found $10,000 in the house, which $10,000, I mean, I got you. $10,000 would be a lot for me right now. Turns out
Yes, it would.
would have been, in today's money, would have been $100,000. But they were like, well, what house are we going to buy? Like, you ain't buying shit. If you work and you live in Los Angeles, you're not buying anything for $100,000.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Sorry, I just had to
No worries.
I just looked up The Wizard of Oz because obviously The Wizard of Oz I know came out way before this, but 1939 was The Wizard of Oz.
Mhm.
So I do like this little kitschy, campy, like she's a witch
Yeah, like this would have been
with
a callback.
Elaine. She's a witch. It's a great. I love it.
30. So it's almost 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't look 20
She
years
looks
older.
the same. She looks great.
Yeah. And that concludes
13 Ghosts, 1960.
1960. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Courtney.
Yeah.
What would you rate this? How do you feel about it?
I'm probably never gonna watch this one again. That's all. I'm just gonna say that. But did I have a fun time with it? Yeah. Five haunted Zorbas.
5. Okay.
5 feels a bit high, actually. 4.
No, it's fine. It was a good watch the first time around. I think if nobody's ever seen it, especially for the campiness and for the history of it, at least watch it once, to see where this story kind of came from.
Yeah, so I guess if you are really into 13 Ghosts and you're excited about this new miniseries or whatever they're going to be making,
yeah,
give it a watch.
If you're into the classics, you're
Give it
into
a
the
watch.
camp, the nostalgia,
Yeah.
for sure, 100%.
It's not bad. It's just very slow moving.
I feel like we've seen worse.
we certainly have.
Yeah.
We certainly have.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they take a wrong turn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
by not leaving the house.
By not leaving a house.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You need a place to stay, and who's not gonna?
Would we survive? Absolutely. I feel like we would survive any of these 1960
I think
ones.
we would have just been like, yeah, leave the ghosts alone. They'll leave you alone. Like,
Yeah, I'd be like,
yeah.
These ones really don't. Or we would have been in the basement with the ghost line. Like, oh,
Dude, look, he ate his
Oh.
head.
yeah. I'd be like, this guy's kind of funny. Like,
We just would have been like, yeah, there's no food in the house because the ghosts keep fucking up our fridge.
yeah, they
I
just.
guess
keep-
we're eating out again.
Yeah, fuck. We do need to find this money. We've been eating out so much.
Yeah.
This modern version.
All right.
All right.
So tune in next time where we will be doing The Craft.
Yes.
It is, from 1996.
Yes, 96 or 97.
Yeah. So it should be a fun watch, a fun time. Guys, so follow us on all the social media. We are now on YouTube, so subscribe and click the bell for all the stuff. Help us get to that next tier or that
We
next
appreciate
level.
it. We love you. Thank you for
Mhm.
listening.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.